Trade recap 6th of March. Today I'm up 0.3 hour. I've missed some trades. I've had like a pretty bad entry, got stopped out before the big runner, but overall I was happy because today was like a pretty difficult day to trade. So how did I go into this trading session today? That was my pre-market plan. So what did I expect from this today? Basically, yesterday it was like a constantly sell-off and they tried to repair it a little bit in the afternoon session, but overall failed, and instead the ETH turned into a constant sell-off event. They broke below this balance here, got lower, accepted this balance lower, got like through the whole balance, and they stopped somewhere around here. So my expectancy was, if they stop here, maybe trying to go long from this area and trading to the opposite direction, or then trading the low volume ledge around here and they should try to hold out this area and try to continue getting through the balance. If they would have failed and they would have accepted lower, just trading short from these areas and trying to get on to the sell trend. That was my expectancy today. So first of all, what setups were I missing today? Basically, as you guys can see, I was not trading the first hour. Why? Because during the first hour I do pretty bad. So I was waiting patiently for it today to shape up, and basically we had like this low volume node somewhere around here, and we had this acceptance higher. We previously had like a pretty good move. I will show it to you. Yeah, we had like a pretty good move into this balance higher with this constantly higher and higher grinding, and then all of a sudden buyers just stopped somewhere around here and somewhere around here. Aggressive selling came in and they just left this area. They even weren't able to hold this area. Why did I trade this area? It was based on the volume profile, Y6760 on the ES. Basically 6760 was like, 6760 was like this volume drop off around here, and after the acceptance higher, what do I consider an acceptance higher? When we at least have a move of somewhere between 10 to 15 points on the ES. It also depends on the market environment. For days like today, I would rather want to see like a 15-point acceptance to consider this as a valid long opportunity and buyers trying to hold this area and continue higher. And yeah, I wanted to go long from down there. I would say I had like a pretty good entry. Overall, still got stopped out, and they constantly sold and sold until they came into this area. Why haven't I taken it? Maybe I was just still too much focused on this area, and I should have just thrown away the idea and instead focus on what the market actually was doing. Yeah, basically they stalled out into this area. There was like a prior big buying up here. It was pretty difficult to get onto this trade because if you don't mark it in somewhere around here, which is mostly not working out, I just mark it in, it all the time turns against me. But if I would have done that, it would have been like a crazy good run now. But guys, consider this area was like a pretty good spot for buyers to show up. Then what they did again, they came back once more into this high. To be honest, I didn't like to short it up here. Why? Because it wasn't my expected target to the other side. My expected target was not this low volume kind of area around here, 670, 80. It wasn't like this area because I wanted to see them somewhere around into this highs. Maybe it would have made sense because of the weekly volume profile, because there was like this big low volume drop off. But yeah, didn't want to short it. Rather, I wanted to look for some longs, and I expected them to get higher and higher and yeah, come to the other side of the balance. But basically they just failed once more from down there. They got lower and lower, somewhere around the area, and I didn't want to trade this area. Why? Because it wasn't like an A plus setup, and I've already lost on the day. It wasn't a loss, so I didn't want to put on some unnecessary risk. Yeah, rather I was waiting for my area to shape up, and then I went long in here. And why did I went long in here? I mean, we had like a pretty hefty selling, so I probably should have waited a little bit more. But on the other chart, on my 500 tick chart, you guys can see we had like some rotation kind of thing, and maybe the first time after this constant, and I would say quite big sell-off, sellers starting to stall out, and maybe buyers got like more pressure on and start to rebid again. That was the reason why I wanted to go long from down there. But ultimately they failed once more and I got stopped out. What has happened then? We basically like broke this low by a few points, not by much, by around 5 points. And we had like a pretty big sellers just got totally absorbed. There was also this negative delta down here, and there was like a really good rebid, and I said, damn, I really want to be on with this move. And I knew from the prior trades there was like today's like, or generally speaking, in those market environments, it's like pretty crazy and pretty quick, not too many rotations starting to shape up, and you mostly either have the market in or you just miss the trade. And I didn't want to miss it because it was like a legit area for me. And yeah, I got onto this trade. It was not the best entry, by far not the best entry, but it was a legit one still for me. My stop loss was like 6 point stop loss I used. It was like not below the low, so that was maybe the only thing which was speaking against this trade, and why I was like a little bit more skeptical with this, because I thought that maybe we see them once more revisiting this area and then giving me the retest, which I'm mostly looking at, and then I got stopped out. So I was like really patiently but also very skeptical with this one, which led to immediately putting my stop loss into this lows kind of here. And after we saw like structure wise, we had like this pretty crazy buying, and my expectancy from down there was to at least get like a 50-point move back into these highs, where my 2/3 of my regular contract size would have been as a profit. Yeah, I've taken one off early on. It was in hindsight, it was like fucking stupid, because only $31, it's like only 1/3 of my regular stop size as a winner. So basically either just getting stopped out or stopped out at break even at the current time, or just letting it open, and until my take profit would have been hit. But ultimately buyers started to start to buy again. It was like a pretty good bidding, and they got into this balances higher up here, and the take profit has been hit. And since then we've had like a pretty good buying. I could have put my take profit a little bit higher, but as you guys saw, like we were like somewhere in the highs of the day, so I didn't want to over exaggerate it a little bit too much and overextend it too much, and then not getting my take profit target. Yeah, this trade was like the final one, as you guys can see, $120 plus 75 plus 31 led to $240. Was like a quite good trade. And yeah, since then I haven't like really seen any more setups. It's already Friday, and in most cases I could have tried it once more somewhere around here into this lows, like a 6-point stop. It would have been like well secured my stop, maybe below this lows, but I just don't want to trade that late in the session. It's already 3 p.m. on a Friday, so there's like no need for it. I'm still up on the week, as you guys can see here, and 51,330, 50,208, and 50,206. Yeah, Basically, I think overall I've made like 1,500 grand in total with all those 3 accounts on the week, which is like, in my opinion, quite okay with all this crazy environment currently and war going on and all this kind of stuff. So I'm pretty happy with how the week turned out, even though I missed some kind of things, but hey, we're still learning, right? So thanks for tuning in, and yeah, let's see us again next week.